Lewis Hamilton's hopes of an eighth world championship are being crushed right before his very eyes. All thanks to Lawrence Stroll, who has spared no expense in grabbing Adrian Newey for Aston Martin. The billionaire has successfully bought Fernando Alonso a final shot at glory. How will Hamilton deal with it? Let's find out. Adrian Newey's high-profile move to Aston Martin is now official, with the F1 design legend set to make $100 million over the next 3 years. At Aston Martin, Newey will have a say in all technical decisions after Ferrari decided not to meet his demands. Ferrari had been seen as the top contender to sign Newey for a long time, but recent rumours have pointed to a falling out between the two, all because the design maestro wanted total power over every decision related to the car. Now, Aston Martin is the likely destination for the most decorated figure in F1 history, with over 200 race wins, 12 constructors' titles, and 13 drivers' championships. Last week, Italian reports suggested Newey was set to join Aston Martin, and former Red Bull driver Robert Dornbos confirmed on Monday that the deal is now finalised. According to Dornbos, Newey will double his salary with Aston Martin, which has agreed to a 3-year contract worth $100 million. An official announcement is expected next month. Newey was Aston Martin's top priority and the deal is now finalised, Dornbos said. Set to earn $100 million over 3 years, twice his Red Bull salary, Newey will have major input in technical decisions. Aston Martin, with its state-of-the-art factory completed last year, likely attracted him with its advanced technology, including a new wind tunnel. The official announcement is expected in September. Dornbos also revealed why Newey's discussions with Ferrari fell through. Team principal Fred Vasseur wasn't willing to meet Newey's demands regarding both salary and control. Was the Frenchman lowballing, or was Newey's requests too unreasonable to be met? Dornbos gave us the answer. Newey's demands were high. He sought a salary double what he earned at Red Bull and greater control over technical staff. This proved too much for Ferrari's team boss, Frédéric Vasseur, and the negotiations ultimately fell through. Newey's move to Aston Martin will see him join a top-notch technical team at Silverstone, with owner Lawrence Stroll keen on establishing the team as a major F1 contender. Just last month, Aston Martin brought in former Mercedes engine expert Andy Cowell and ex-Ferrari tech chief Enrico Cardilli. These high-profile additions followed Aston Martin's announcement of a works partnership with Honda, Red Bull's current engine partner, starting from the 2026 season. Fernando Alonso joined Aston Martin in 2023 from Alpine to replace Sebastian Vettel. The season started exceptionally well for Alonso, with Aston Martin looking like the second strongest team on the grid behind Red Bull. Alonso even secured 6 podiums in the first 8 races. Since then, other teams have not only caught up with but also surpassed Aston Martin. The team is now in 5th place in the Constructors' Championship, 193 points behind Mercedes. Former Toro Rosso driver Jaime Alguersuari suggests that the rumoured signing of Adrian Newey could be a game-changer. He told Marca, "Fernando can be once again a world champion. These are the best news that the Spanish driver received in the last 10 years of his career. Number 1 by far is Adrian Newey, and there is no one better than him to understand this change in the cycle that is going to come to racing. The entire Formula One competes against Newey. So what does this mean for Lewis Hamilton? In 2026, new chassis and power unit regulations will come into play, but before that, Sir Lewis will make his highly anticipated move to Ferrari next year. The F1 legend has publicly expressed an excitement to work with Newey in Formula One at Ferrari. If Dornbos's prediction about Newey not joining Ferrari turns out to be accurate, Hamilton's wish will not come true. Ahead of the Miami Grand Prix, Hamilton was asked by the media about his interest in having Newey join him at Ferrari. For those of you who missed it, this was how much he wanted to work with Newey. Very much. Adrian's got such a great history, track record, and has just done an amazing job through his career in engaging with teams and the knowledge that he has, and I think he would be an amazing addition. I think they've already got a great team. They're already making huge progress, strides forwards, their car is quicker this year. But yeah, it would be a privilege to work with him. If I was to do a list of people that I'd love to work with, he would absolutely be at the top of it. In a sit-down with Esquire, Hamilton made a shocking revelation about his mental health since losing out on an 8th title in one of the sport's most infamous races in Abu Dhabi 2021. The controversy took a toll on him, and he went into detail about his headspace since then. While looking back on his recent wins right before the summer break, Hamilton said, "It had been such a long time. So many thoughts cross your mind. Some of them you start to potentially believe in, bit by bit. It's been mostly a battle of the mind, keeping yourself sane, trying to pick up new tools. Ultimately, it always comes back to persistence and dedication. Hard work. It always does eventually pay off. After facing challenges under the current technical regulations for a few years, Hamilton has recently hit a better stride, winning twice in the last 3 races. The 39-year-old emphasised the importance of being adaptable and stepping outside of his comfort zone when it comes to driving. Still, to this point, I think ultimately as a driver you have to be adaptive and you have to concede that sometimes your approaches to certain things aren't perfect, he said. You just start looking at ways in which you can still hold on to the essence of what's made you as good as you've been, and see how you evolve that to get to achieve what you need to achieve. Ultimately, as drivers, you should be able to drive anything, and I think we can. In certain situations, some drivers are able to deal with things better than others, and it takes some people a short time, others longer, to adapt. But I wouldn't say it's a disaster. The question now is adapting enough for Hamilton to outrace an Adrian Newey car, especially with someone like Fernando Alonso behind the wheel? Right now, Aston Martin sits solidly in the midfield, with the AMR24 showing less competitiveness compared to the AMR23, which had a stronger performance last year with multiple podium finishes. Since Lawrence Stroll took over in 2020, Aston Martin has been heavily investing in infrastructure and facilities, with the new factory, simulator, and wind tunnel nearing completion and starting to show results. With heavy commercial backing, Aston Martin is well positioned to afford the premium salary that Newey demands, which would exceed the budget cap. Damon Hill has reinforced the speculation that Adrian Newey is likely heading to Aston Martin when he talked about key factors influencing the decision. The 1996 world champion discussed the potential of such a signing during his appearance with Tom Clarkson on the F1 Nation podcast. Of the teams that were interested and had the capability, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, I think Ferrari has gone a bit cold, and McLaren already has it up and running very well. Maybe it would be wrong to have someone like Adrian there. I don't know. Whereas Aston has got headroom. They've got the resources and they've also got unfulfilled potential, which Adrian could be really useful for. The bad news keeps on piling up for Lewis Hamilton as Ferrari's discussions with former Mercedes Chief Technical Officer Mike Elliott have been put to a screeching halt. Reports claim that Lewis Hamilton won't be able to work with one of the key figures from Mercedes when he joins Ferrari. These reports were about Mercedes' former Chief Technical Officer Mike Elliott not being on Ferrari's radar as the Italian team aims to reform their technical team structure. Back in October 2023, Mercedes announced that Elliott would leave the team after that season and go on a break before finding his next challenge in the world of motorsport. There had been no news about the British engineer for a while after that. In 2024, however, rumours about Elliott being linked with Ferrari started to pick up pace. As Frederic Vasseur gradually reinvigorated the Italian team's technical department, reports from Scuderia fans claimed that he could also lure in the former Mercedes man, particularly to replace Ferrari's technical director Enrico Cardilli. For almost all his career, Hamilton has worked with Elliott. When the British driver first joined Fell with McLaren, Elliott was in the team as head aerodynamic leader. When Hamilton joined Mercedes in 2013, the engineer was already in the Silver Arrows as head of aerodynamics. According to a recent report in the Formula Uno, Elliott is a free agent at the moment, and he's not been on Ferrari's radar. The report added that Vasseur had no interest in Elliott. It reads, Mike Elliott is the main figure currently available, but the former Mercedes technical officer was not on Ferrari's radar and we can rule out him getting in there. There is no interest from Vasseur. With both an Adrian Newey partnership and a Mike Elliott reunion out of the question, how likely is it for Lewis Hamilton to add another trophy to his collection? Give us your take on the matter in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.